I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success, let's get down to business.
And indeed, we're all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship in business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. While you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. So let's jump right in. I'm excited to be joined by Richard Flentge, who is the former co-host of EVTV, a worldwide webcast and private renewable energy research facility. And he's been a journalist, as you can imagine, reporting on the rise of the electric vehicle. That's the Tesla. We're going to talk all about that and just renewable energy and a whole bunch of interesting topics. I'm excited to be joined once again by Richard Flentge. Richard, welcome to the program.
Good to be here.
Absolutely. I love to get to know the person behind the microphone. I know you're really passionate about the work that you do. Yeah. You just released a new book regarding the electric mule. Tell us a little bit about the book. It's kind of humorous and why you're so passionate about this topic.
You know, the book brings together all sorts of different kind of the history of transportation energy, as well as some of the climate change issues, and then a lot of the technology work we worked with. And one of the things that is very unique about my background is we had a facility and we had 2 large solar arrays, and we tested and worked with basically aftermarket or non-OEM components to see what worked with solar and electric vehicle. And then the company drove revenue by repurposing salvaged Tesla parts.
Amazing. What a fascinating area that you have focused on. I know that you have configured and sold multiple large solar battery builds around the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and multiple countries in Europe. So you know a thing or two about the topic. But for many of our listeners, when you hear electric vehicle, you often think of that car called the Tesla. So why is the Tesla so unique? Why is its stock so valuable?
Okay, the Tesla, a couple things. One, they took command of battery technology, and they've done a couple things where they have a large-scale cylinder battery production system where they can make batteries by the bajillions. And one thing that I'll let you know, and it's kind of a spoof, a Tesla is actually a Model S is 7,700 little batteries. So it's not one big battery. It's a lot of small batteries. And they put them all together and they command that technology. And then the second thing that they really did, they developed a unique assembly process. So like, for example, they put in the monitor, which completely controls the car with all the software. They don't have all that dashboard assembly. They don't have all sorts of electronics that require additional manufacturing steps. So they have a very simplified product that they put together with some design advantages, and they have a lot of very good battery technology.
Very, very, very interesting. So, I mean, I'm really interested about the entire premise over here. I know, again, you are very, very passionate about this area of electric vehicles in particular, but in general about renewable energy. So, I mean, I know you've been asked this question previously on other podcasts, but why convert a gasoline car to electric drive? What's the advantage?
Well, if you're talking about an individual, it is kind of a hot rod at this point. But now the entire auto industry is converting. And one of the main factors is, well, fuel. They understand the horizon that at some point, fossil fuels and oil is going to run out. So it gives them a very long horizon to produce a product in. And then the second part about it is a tremendous reduction in parts required. So electric vehicle drivetrain has 150 parts. A General Motors large SUV has 5,000 parts. So the scale of parts required is quite a bit less.
Interesting.
So,
Very, very interesting. So we talked about batteries already. Again, I'm chatting with the one and only Richard Flentge. And we've talked a little bit about batteries. Thank you for enlightening us regarding what the Tesla vehicle actually is powered by. But why is the portable lithium-ion battery the key solution to renewable energies?
that is actually the big piece of the puzzle. So, for example, you're in Chicago, you're not going to have enough solar to produce enough electricity and enough sunshine days probably to power that metro. But if you take portable batteries, you put them on a train, you go down to Arizona, they have large solar arrays that produce massive megawatts of electricity. You store that electricity on a portable train, a portable battery, and then you train it or you drive it to Chicago. And the portable battery allows you to transport energy, basically.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So we talked about Tesla. We talked about the stock being so valuable. But the reality is our listeners know this, certainly in the business community, that policy definitely impacts the economy. So how does the renewable energy policy reflect a parallel of the Tesla stock valuation?
Again, they are seeing the trajectory of all these trends. One of the things that people get into climate change, which I'm not an alarmist, but I am a realist, they see the trends of the amount of exhaust that is coming out of the tailpipes. So if that trend continues, they believe it will cause catastrophic damage to the environment. So the trajectory of adding more and more cars and more tailpipes worldwide at some point has a negative effect. And the same thing with Tesla stock. They don't see any reason why we're not going to be using batteries 1,000 years from now or a million years from now, I guess. But there is an end point to the fossil fuel consumption. So it's really about
Absolutely.
trajectory.
Trajectory. So that's perfect segue. And this is the $1 million question. As we talk about trajectory, we're having this conversation in mid-2023. And I know that President Biden outlined his goal in terms of electric vehicles and starting to move away from oil and gas. So what does the future world look like without oil and gas? Is this possible? And what, if you were to look at a crystal ball, what would you see?
Well, all the vehicles would be electric. You would have bidirectional charging. So you would be able to store electricity in your car and drive home, plug in the quote sunshine, basically the electric you can collected from renewable energy and charge your home. And then your home would be very smart. So they're already developing systems that control circuits, turn circuits on and off, have isolated solar panels. So for example, you may have a small solar panel array and it'll only do one thing: run your air conditioner or charge your car. And in the future, you would have a home that would allow you to make those switching decisions, basically. So
wow. Well, my mind is officially blown from this conversation. I've learned a lot in all areas that we really haven't talked about enough on Get Down to Business. So we've got just about 1 minute remaining. And Richard, I want to turn the last word over to you. How can we learn more about you and pick up a copy of your fantastic, humorous new read?
I do a few Tesla pokes and jokes. I have some Elon quotes in there. But you can follow me on my website, richardflentge.com. RICHARDFLENTGE.com. And I've got Twitter links, Facebook pages. I have a little store. I sell stickers. I do a few things, and I really do it. I'm retired, and I do it to help get the message out. And I'm really trying to bridge that, almost that psychological and that cultural gap from gasoline over to electric cars.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your passion. Certainly radiating through the radio waves over here. So Richard Flentge, again, thanks for joining us. I know you can find out more again about Richard on his website, as well as pick up a copy of his book, richardflentge.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Coming up after the break, we've got a lot more small business jobs and entrepreneurship. We are powered by our good friends, Tom Mirabali, independent agent for all of your health insurance and Affordable Care Act needs. You can call him 630-863-3477, 630-863-3477, or his website, healthplanchicago.com. Again, don't touch that dial. You're listening to Get Down to Business. We'll be right back.